Good evening and welcome once again to my channel. This is Dr. Precious Salino and this is Credible Mindset TV. I'm really glad that you're joining us today, and today we're going to be talking about a mindset of action. You know, that thing you do when you need something done. A mindset of action. Action happens to be a combination of acting on. Two words that just means acting on. Think about it as acting on the things that you need to do to get your life where it needs to be. A mindset of action. Trying to help your mind to stay committed to doing the little things that it needs to do to be able to drive the results that you want to see. The very first step of that is taking the decision to do the things anyway. You know, sometimes some of us are stuck in the indecision land, and you don't want to take that decision. You're not saying yes, but you're also not saying no. One thing to have in mind is that the decisions that we don't make are also included in the pile of all the bad decisions that we've made in life. Because let's assume at the end of it was going to be a good decision, but you never took that decision. It's bad decision because you never took it. That makes it a bad decision. So why not make the decision anyway? It takes courage, I know, sometimes to just take a leap, make that decision, because you have to do it first to know if it's going to succeed or not. If that dream is stuck in your heart, stuck in your mind, how are you going to know if it's going to be successful or not? Make the decision today. Don't wait. And I do understand there are times when you need to weigh in several things. I'm not saying just leap into anything you see and just decide, boom, boom, boom. But when you do not take a decision, it also shows that you don't have what it takes to drive the action. It also shows that you're stuck in fear. It also shows that you don't have the courage to move forward. But taking a calculated decision is different from not taking a decision. Taking a calculated decision means that you weigh in every single thing that you need to weigh in. If you need to ask of opinion, don't stuck in other people telling you what you cannot do. Because they're not the ones who have the vision, who have the clarity of the purpose and the drive and where you're headed. They may not see all of that. And with all good intentions, all they are trying to do is give you the best advice that they can give you without really knowing what your end goal is. Or even if they know the end goal, they might not have the vision to see where you're headed. And it was just only you that could see that vision. The next thing I want to talk about is the obedience that follows the decision. So assuming that you made that decision, okay, by the way, tomorrow I'm going to, I need to learn the skill to be able to open this business, right? Like a particular business, let's say that's really what you're trying to delve into, but you need to learn certain skills. You've made a decision. Okay, I'm going to dive into this, but I need to learn the skills, or I need to go shadow somebody, or I need to read this, or I need to enroll in certain skills development. But you never obey that decision to move forward. You're just finding ways. Eventually, you're going to talk yourself out of it if you don't move on. You would either talk yourself out of it or give yourself several permission slips or some of the ones that people have given you that would make you eventually get out of it. Before you know it, like, you just have a lot of decisions that were made that never went anywhere. Yes, you made a decision. You know, I'm going to start this, but you never took the next step. So obedience is important. Obeying the decision that you make to yourself is almost like keeping the covenant you made that you're going to do this. You're going to learn a new skill. You want to go back to school. Let's say you made a decision today that you're going to, or 3 years ago that you're going to go back to school, and next year passed, you did not. The second year passed, you did not. The third year passed, you did not. The funny thing in life is that time will still just keep going. It will just keep going. It will just keep going. It will just not wait. So just because you made that decision 3 years ago does not mean that you've done it. Does not mean that you've achieved anything. So you've taken the action to make the decision, but you've not done anything else. So when it comes to a mindset of action, it's a continuous process. It's something that you have to keep working on, but you have to have a good plan in place. The best way to achieve that is to outline, after you make the decision, what next? What is the next thing that you're going to do, right? So a mindset of obedience, right? That is the next step of that action. So being obedient and then staying committed to what you obeyed to do, staying committed to it. Let's say you start learning a skill and staying committed to the timelines, staying committed to the things that you need to know, staying committed to what your mentors are advising you to do, staying committed to appointments you have with yourself and with other people related to that particular deal. So staying committed is important, but staying committed would not happen without discipline and consistency. They go hand in hand. And discipline is a big deal. And I talked about discipline a lot in the beginning when we're just initially talking about success mindset. Being disciplined is a big deal. Discipline is what takes you, is what just keeps you going when that motivation is no longer there. When you no longer remember that thing that inspired you. When you don't remember how you even got this idea in the first place. You're like, how did I even get here? Discipline is the thing that keeps you going. You get up and you said, oh, I'm going to do this. So today I am on task list number 7. It is discipline that takes you through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 task lists and still keeps going to number 8 and number 9 and number 10. Having timelines and expectations for yourself, is what also helps your discipline. Being self-disciplined enough to do all of those things that you are committed, and being consistent. Sometimes we get discouraged because maybe we missed 1 or 2 steps, or something just happened, or life just comes in the way of what we planned to do or what we committed to do. Life comes in the way, and then you're just like, I failed, and then you stop there because you stumbled. No, being consistent is not about being perfect. Being consistent means, okay, well, life happened, and just picking it up from here, I have to finish this. I just have to keep going. I don't care if life happened. I don't care if there was an interruption, because we would have detours in our life. We will have things that would probably shift our focus momentarily. That does not mean we're not consistent. What it just means is that we are at a stop sign at this point. Eventually, we're going to move again. Don't just like the stop signs are not where we stop permanently. It's just, we just stop for a moment and we'll continue. So don't let that discourage your journey of consistency. But remembering where you are headed is important, so that after that momentary stop ends, you still continue to take the steps necessary to see the end of that goal and come to the end of, achieving that dream. I think just looking at the end of the tunnel and seeing that silver lining should continue to keep you going, even when motivation ends. One thing I wanted to touch on is this. There are so many things that are at the end of our obedience, or would like say at the end of our action, benefits. I see a two-way benefit there. There are people that are waiting on the other end of your obedience, on the other end of the actions you take. Might be people that, God has just placed you on this earth to be able to touch their life. Or maybe the business you're going to open is going to service a set of people that have been waiting for this to come. There's always benefits for other people waiting on the other side. But the best, aspect of it too is that there's also certain benefits waiting for you just when you take action. There might be people who probably wants to help you, but they never really help you. But once you take an action and then you start something, it might be small, all of a sudden you could see family members who probably saved some money, kept something, or friends who that whatever you're doing will just encourage them, and they will come to you and say, oh, wow, I like what you're doing and I would like to help. I like what you're doing. I would like to invest. I like what you're doing. I'd like to give you this. Without you starting, those things would not have happened. And then within you, you're probably wondering, where have you been all this while? Why didn't you give me the money or invest in this before I started? It's just because they had nothing about you to invest in. But when you take the actions and show them you can do this and show what you have within you, then you will be seeing the benefits related to this. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but most of the time it really happens, because that's when you will see some people say, oh yeah, I think I may really want to invest in that. I personally have, thought about investing in some little business somebody is doing, just because I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. This person is doing this. It might really be worth investing in. But without that, I wouldn't ever think about that. They had to take the action, and they are doing some of those things. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. Without that, I wouldn't think about like maybe putting my money into it. And a lot of people think about that too. There's also like even your family members who saved money that you never knew about, and all of a sudden they want to give you the money. But it's because you obeyed. It's because you took the necessary actions that now wants to make them bring out that money. Nobody wants to put their money or put their investment or put their time into somebody that they look at and say, you're just there. You're not doing anything. You're not taking all the actions. We know you have these dreams. We know you have all these things, but you're not doing it. When you do it, you will find investors. You will find people that are interested in you. But even if you don't find those investors at that time or at that first action that you've taken, don't give up. There's always a time for everything. At the end of it all, you will see that the end always shows that it was worth it all in the beginning. And even if it's just that personal satisfaction that you get, run with it. I just wanted to encourage you today. I don't know what it is that you're thinking about. I don't know what it is that you've been sitting on. I don't know what it is that needs your action today. Get up, let your sister encourage you, and be encouraged. Okay? Be encouraged. Take the action. Take the action. Act now. Avoid procrastination. Yes, procrastination. Because success depends on action. Success wants us to get up from excuses. Success wants us to get up from, I like how somebody put it, minimum wage habits. The habits that just want to make excuses, that want to tell you why you cannot do something and talk you out of it. Success wants you to get away from minimum wage habits. For you to really get to that level, you need to change what you're doing. And one of the things that you can change is taking action if you've not done one already. So I don't know what goals you had in mind or planned, or things that you wanted to achieve this year, 2025, or what some of the New Year resolutions that you wrote down for yourself. Now is the time. The year has not ended yet. You can still take actions and drive results. Thank you once again. Please subscribe to my channel, like, share, comment, and God bless you for listening. We'll see you some other time.